What's happening, chat? How is everybody on this Saturday evening? I do believe we will have a fun stream. Couple big things to talk about tonight. This should be fun. This should be a hoot, even. A barrel of monkeys if you want to go way the fuck back. So, fill your cup and light your smoke. Because it's Saturday night. We're in the basement. And it's time to get nerdy. What's happening, everybody? How we doing? It's Saturday night. Welcome. Fuck you, Rob. What's going on, y'all? Hope you're doing well. Hope your weekend's been going all right to this point. Mine's been pretty okay. My granddaughter was born very, very early this morning. Bit of a chonk, 9 pounds, 8 ounces. But she's so fucking sweet, though. Went and saw her this afternoon. Yeah. Popped on up to the hospital. Hung out. Got to hold her. It was pretty cute. Pretty cute. And Michigan and Michigan State are playing right now, so you're going to see me doing a lot of this. And just so you know, Michigan's winning. Whoop, whoop. 17-7 with 9:04 left in the third. And we're just got the ball punted back to us. But we did not score a point in the second quarter. That shit pissed me off. Oh, dude, you better not have fumbled. You motherfucker. Anyway. So, Brooke, you're out with friends. That's pretty cool. Tell them to pull up their YouTubes, take their phones, subscribe, and then hand it back to them. Yeah. We got Brooke up in here, Spicy Dan up in here, Prez up in here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, chat. In honor of the birth of my granddaughter, I'm going to crack into this Crown Royal that I was in the Pretty Lions bag and box that I was given for my birthday by my brother-in-law, Matt. Now seems an appropriate time. Bear with me. Oh, thank you, bro. Yes, join the Discord. Hit the like. If you haven't done so, hit the subscribe, notification bell, all that good shit. So you can get the full effect. And, of course, we had to punt it right back. God damn it. great punt. Pinned him at the 3. Top. And they're getting all this promotion for free. Don't worry, we'll be doing this one. Of course, I've fucked around long enough. If you had something, hopefully you would have grabbed it by now. But don't worry, we'll probably do another later. But for now, to Alora. That's her name, Alora. My granddaughter. Prost. Crown. I love it, but it does give me. I can't help it. Like I love whiskey, but it always makes me go. I love tequila, but that's even worse. I'm like, arr. So don't let the yuck face fool you. I'm actually enjoying the liquor. It just, hits certain spots on my tongue that triggers my face, and I can't help it. Just, Anywho, what's been going on with y'all? You know, yeah, big event today, but outside of that, not too much has happened. So, other than Mrs. Chillin and I watching the grandson. Yeah, we spent the night over there last night, and when I get out of here, I'm going back over there again because I think she's going to be discharged at like fucking 7 in the morning or some shit. So we got to be up early. Woo! Woo! So, yep. Yeah, there's like a lot of little tidbits floating around, but I have like 2 major stories. If I crack the smoked bourbon, no. But I did go through that whole jug of fucking Fireball. Yep. I'm not digging for it right now. Executive Judge, what's up, Your Honor? Pretty dry week in terms of Marvel and DC news. Well, I got one little bit of Marvel news, but yeah, pretty dry week. I mean, James Gunn was running his yapper, but I'm tired of talking about him talking. At least for now. Until he says something really stupid. And then I'll find the energy to shit all over him again. Yep. So. Fucking slap my They may be a good day to open that one up. Yeah, I'd have to find it first, and it's very dark under the desk where most of the booze is. And my phone's way over there with its flashlight function. And I don't feel like looking for it right now. I have my crown. God damn it, you asshole. Now you got me curious anyway. I have not. It stands intact. No, it's bourbon, and Mrs. Chillin loves bourbon. I am not opening this without her. I value my health. The crown, however, while I will 100% willingly share it with Mrs. Chillin, of course, that is a birthday present to me. So I can get on up in that shit whenever I wants to. And I wants to tonight. All right. Defense holding strong. They haven't been the issue this game. It's been the offense. What up, Delta? Delta Dan, the man. Zzz. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you. I just did a shot of my birthday crown that came in this lovely Detroit Lions bag. In a Detroit Lions branded Crown Royal box. Grew up watching The Price is Right, motherfuckers. I can do that shit. Now, Vanna White's something else. That's a whole different kettle of fish, what she had to do. And still does. All right, cool. That'll be... I'm going to let this one marinate for a bit because I've also been smoking a little. So, yeah, we're going to let that settle for a few. But yeah, there will definitely be another one happening. Oh. So how's your weekend been, Delta? And Executive Judge? Things going all right in your respective worlds? Fucking YouTube. It's showing an excellent connection right now. But I guarantee that stupid fucking error warning about my, I don't remember, some kind of rate is too slow. Okay. All right. Well, it's better than shitty. Yeah, well. Yeah, I know absolutely nothing about the behind the scenes crap. I have the programs, I turn them on, I stream. End of story. That's it, man. That's it. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. So, Chad, you got anything to share, or shall we get on up in this shit? Need to send me Mer's Halloween display. It's almost done. Yeah, when it's done, you definitely got to. Like, Heather is massively into Halloween. She loves that shit, so definitely got to send that up. Had your daughter's Halloween Booville at her school Friday, and sister-in-law's birthday party today. Just football tomorrow. Oh, hell yeah. Well, mom and baby return home tomorrow, so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to football. Probably not till the evening. But on the other hand, it's the Lions bye week, so won a movie trivia bowl, and we won because I spoke up about how Strange needed the time stone to time travel, and the Eye of Agamotto was just a container for the. Fuck yeah, dude! Winning by nerd. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What up, C-Dub? Just got home from hanging with the parents. Cool. How they doing? They doing all right? The correct answer I knew was going to be Eye of Agamotto, and lo and behold. Yeah. Represent! Represent for the nerds! Well done, sir. Oh, that better. Oh, you got to fucking kid me, bro. Oh, good. They fucked up and we're offsides. All right. Yeah, you guys who just got here in the last couple minutes, you probably need this update. You're going to see me facing this direction a lot, like I am right now, because it's the Michigan State game. So I'm keeping an eye on it. Hail to the motherfucking victors, bitch! So they almost fumbled, but the homie that caused it was offside. So Michigan State, bro. Excuse me for a moment, please. And you remember that Strange said he couldn't time travel without the time stone when Peter asked him as such in No Way Home. True that. Yeah. Ooh, go, baby. Cool. All right. All right, y'all ready? Let's do this shit. First up. So, y'all remember that story that dropped early this week about the Star Wars movie that was being developed by Adam Driver and Steven Soderbergh? They were going to title it The Hunt for Ben Solo. Y'all remember that story? And like how literally everyone lost their fucking minds, and rightfully so, I think. Or, well, many people. There were some people that I saw were like, no, actually, that was a good fucking idea to kill that thing. But I don't know if y'all have felt giddy after the win. Hell yeah. I don't know if y'all have seen. Oh, that's what I meant to fucking pull up. God damn it. Give me a second here. That's to show you something. Something that I did not know I would ever see. How about where'd you go? You butthole. There you Where's that? Where is it? I know I seen it. I know I seen it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Wait, what? Oh, fuck yeah. Just rando. Not what I was looking for. But the 50th anniversary New Hope in 27 will have an IMAX release. I'm going to spend extra on that shit. No, probably not. But I'm definitely going to seriously consider it. Do not put that up there, you fuckstick. Alright, there's got to be a better way to do this. Give me a second. Okay. So, guessing with the granddaughter that you have. No, I have not tried Rival Zombies. You're correct, I have not done that. But that honestly has nothing to do with her. I just haven't fucking done it. Hello, Malice. Normally I don't want you on my desk, but since you've been being a dick to Jack lately, I'd rather you here being minorly annoying to me than fighting with him. I don't know why, but my generally much more well-behaved cat has been a dickbag lately. I don't know what his fucking problem is. He needs to knock it off. Oh, cool. We scored again when I was talking about Star Wars. Good deal. Maybe I should stop paying attention to the game. Ooh, sack! Hell yeah. All right. That's funny. We scored all our points in the first half. We scored all our points in the first quarter. Scored Jack Dick in the second quarter, and that was a touchdown and a field goal. Now here in the third quarter, we've scored 2 touchdowns. So we are now up 24-7, and it's beautiful. Anywho, so the when Adam Driver dropped that he and Steven Soderbergh were developing a movie, and they were going to call it The Hunt for Ben Solo, that got a reaction from the fandom, of course, so from some of the more predictable groups, the Raylos and people that actually genuinely like the sequels. Of course, they were fucking like, what the fuck? But there are people that actually didn't really like the sequels, but like the Ben Solo character that are like, what the shit? Mostly because that movie actually had a chance to redeem at least him and maybe even parts of the sequels if they did it. Excuse me, if they did it right. Now, Steven Soderbergh, that dude good. He can write, he can direct, he can produce, he can do all the things. So that pairing, shit. On paper, as we talked about when we first talked about this on Wednesday, on paper, that sounds actually like a fucking dope ass movie that I would want to go see. Like, not just go see because it's a Star Wars movie and I'm praying they finally didn't fuck up. I'd be like, this movie sounds cool. If the trailer's good, I'll be like, this movie looks cool. I want to go. Like, I will have actually, like, I feel like on paper, I would have had desire to go see this movie, not just, okay, it's Star Wars, so I'm going to give it a chance. I would be like, no, I want to see this movie. Right? Turns out, a much larger chunk of the fandom than one would expect joined the Raylos and the sequel Glazers in their what the fuck are you doing, Iger kind of thing. Even to the point of doing something like this. Star Wars fans paid for a plane to fly over Disney Studios with a banner reading, "Save the Hunt for Ben Solo." They rented a plane, got that banner made, attached it to the plane, and sent the plane over Disney Studios. Granted, it does not take very many people to do that, but just in terms of like, what's the fucking word I want that I had and then lost? Social impact, I guess. Like, this is a good way to go at least somewhat viral, right? So there's that one. But there's yet another one that I feel like even tops that one. Okay, this is a really good shot. The fans went bigger, or at least a Star Wars fan went huge. You think a plane with a banner is like, attention getting? Check this shit out. A Star Wars fan has paid for a billboard in Times Square, pushing for the release of The Hunt for Ben Solo. For Adam, no one's ever really gone. Hope lives. Ben is alive. Hashtag THBS. I'm assuming The Hunt for Ben Solo. Check this shit out. Look at that. Right next to motherfucking Splinter Cell. Times motherfucking Square. That's how impactful the news of Iger killing this movie has been. People are renting planes. People are shelling out who the fuck knows how much money for a billboard in fucking Times Square. But there have been even more developments. But first of all, how do you feel about this reaction, chat? Feel kind of unexpected? I feel like that I did not. I mean, I knew there would be a decent amount of fans that would, the usuals, the Raylos, the sequel Glazers. I knew they'd be up in arms. And even people who appreciated the Ben Solo characters up in arms. But I did not expect motherfuckers to start renting planes and paying probably thousands for a fucking billboard in Times Square. Like, that's crazy, bro. Hi, big boy. What you doing? So, there's more to this story that I'm going to get into, but let's pause. But not for a sexy joke. But let's pause. And what are your thoughts on just that, chat? How do you feel about that reaction? Surprising? Not surprising? Lame? How do you feel about it? Times Square can't be cheap. Probably a pricey car price for the... Yeah? I mean, definitely 4 digits. And if it's 5 digits, and remember, the thing said a Star Wars fan. One, singular, shelled out that dough. I want whoever that is to adopt me. If you can afford to shell out the bucks for a fucking Times Square billboard on your own, damn. What I got to say, damn. 13 minutes left in the fourth, baby. Yeah, I was not expecting a response to that, like a response like that. Not to that extent. Oh, don't you do it. Oh, fuck. I think they just scored. Yep, they just scored. God damn it. Fucking secondary. Fuck that one up. You'd bet 5 digits? Oh, I would, yeah. I'm thinking it probably was 5 digits, honestly. I mean, yeah, it's probably 5 digits. Can you imagine that? Like, first of all, how much do you fucking love Star Wars? Number one. Like, I love Star Wars, and I don't know that I'd do that even if I was rich. You know? I mean, this motherfucker loves Star Wars and has bank. Wonder who the fuck it is. So yeah, seriously, that's crazy. I was not expecting to see that. First of all, I wasn't even expecting the plane. I was like, oh, that's kind of fun. But then I saw it like fucking Times Square. Oh, nope, he might have been just short, but they'll probably still going to score 8. But chat, that's not all. That's just the reaction to the initial. That's just the reaction to the initial news. Then yesterday, the playlist came out with many more details about the hunt for Ben Solo and the Sith imitation. So let us go over this article that the playlist Oh, here we go. The cost for a Times Square billboard for a day can range from about $250 to over $50,000, depending on the type and location of the billboard, per Google AI. Okay, so that one was a digital billboard. It did not look like it was in like a main spot, so I'm still going to say it was 4 digits. They spent at least a G on that motherfucker. I'm still going to say that. Just because of the quality. And also, actually, it can't have been in that fucking, like, kind of off to the side place, because it was next to a thing for fucking Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. If you can pay for a billboard next to Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, yeah, I think we might be back up to minimum 10 Gs already, bruh. I don't know. What do you think? Does my logic make sense? Nope, they're in. Assuming they make the extra point, it'll be 24-14, but we're still winning in the fourth quarter by 2 scores. So yeah, I think we're still looking at 10 G's minimum. But thanks for the info though, bro. Really appreciate that. Another little tidbit to yap on for a wee bit. Oh, that's not good. Okay, that's an injury to a looked like a defensive lineman. What are they going for 2? They're going for 2. Okay. I mean, they do need to. Then they'll be down by 9. What the fuck good is that going to do? Oh, then they can win by a touchdown field goal. Ha ha! Denied, bitch. Fuck yeah. Fuck your 2-point and fuck you, Spartans. Okay. I told you that was going to happen. I warned you from jump, okay? It's in-state rivalry night, baby. And I roll with the maize and blue. Okay, so the playlist gave us many more background details about this movie and the situation and what happened. So let us dive into this motherfucker. The Hunt for Ben Solo, Steven Soderbergh and Adam Driver's secret movie, was greenlit before Disney pulled the plug. Exclusive. Greenlit before Disney pulled the plug. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, I guess. 6 months ago. Wow. Okay. I learned that Steven Soderbergh and Adam Driver had quietly developed a post-Rise of Skywalker Star Wars film titled The Hunt for Ben Solo, written by Scott Z. Burns, but out of an abundance of reporterly caution, I didn't go forward with the story. Excuse me. This week, Driver himself revealed the project's existence in an Associated Press interview, confirming that he and Soderbergh had worked on a Star Wars movie that never came to fruition. The playlist can now confirm that the film advanced far beyond development. It had a completed script, the full creative stamp of approval from Lucasfilm, including Kathleen Kennedy, and was greenlit internally before being canceled by Disney executives Bob Iger and Alan Bergman. Okay, so that's, other than the advanced far beyond development, which I don't remember. You guys remember, was that in the initial report? Other than that, this is still basically the initial report. Okay? Sources close to the project emphasized that this was not a loose concept or early pitch. The film, operating under the codename Quiet Leaves, interesting, had a finalized screenplay and was entering early prep and staffing stages. Disney purchased a fully developed treatment and beat sheet developed by Soderbergh and screenwriter Rebecca Blunt, the pseudonym for Jules Asner, Soderbergh's wife, who also wrote Logan Lucky, and hired Scott Z. Burns, who was paid more than any screenwriter in Lucasfilm history. Remember that, because I heard a number. To complete the screenplay. Burns' connection to Star Wars goes back further than most realize. The playlist previously reported in 2016 that the Contagion screenwriter, okay, so he wrote Contagion, was one of the uncredited writers on Rogue One before Tony Gilroy came aboard to take over and complete that film. According to insiders, Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, and Carrie Beck were directly involved throughout development and were reportedly enthusiastic about the drafts that came in. Kennedy and the Star Wars Story Group waited until the project was ready to shoot before they presented it to Disney. When the final script, budget, and proposed start date were delivered to Disney, it marked the first time Lucasfilm had ever presented a fully approved a project that did not move forward. Update. Soderbergh confirms this detail himself just moments ago on Blue Sky. Okay, so this is what he said. In the aftermath of the Hunt for Ben Solo situation, I asked Kathy if Lucasfilm Limited, had ever turned in a finished movie script for greenlight to Disney and had it rejected. She said no. This was a first. So it was fully approved, and a bunch of pre-fucking production was done before they even took it to Iger and Bergman. Like, that bitch was practically ready to, film. Ready to go. And Iger's like, nah, fam. We ain't making that shit. Like, nope, no bueno. We're not making it because I don't see how Ben Solo can be alive. That's crazy, though. That's never happened. And again, according to the insiders list, Kennedy, Filoni, and Beck worked together and were directly involved throughout development and were reportedly enthusiastic. The three of them together were all enthusiastic about this fucking movie. That should tell you something about this movie. After the submission, the project stalled at the executive level. Sources say Bergman took an unusually long time to read the script, and when he and Iger finally responded, their primary concern was narrative continuity, specifically uncertainty about how Ben Solo could be alive following the events of The Rise of Skywalker. Internally, that reaction surprised Lucasfilm leadership, who reportedly felt that the story's logic was clear and creatively sound. Several people close to the production interpret the decision as politically motivated, coinciding with Iger's efforts to position Bergman as his successor at Disney. God help us if someone with Iger's blessing takes over. We're fucked. Anyway, the fallout from that decision appears to have extended beyond the project itself. Bergman's handling of several high-profile initiatives has been criticized internally, and his standing within Disney's succession plan has reportedly weakened. Well, good. Other executives, including Josh D'Amaro and Dana Walden, are now viewed as stronger contenders for the top job. Soderbergh and Driver were never compensated for their work on the project, while Burns reportedly received a low but substantial 7-figure sum. 7 figures. That means at least $1 million. And it said low but substantial. And the number I saw being bandied about on the TwitX today said $3 million. Which is, again, the most Lucasfilm has ever paid any screenwriter ever for anything. Ever. Let us continue. Evidence of the film's progress surfaced earlier this year when Lucasfilm designer Bobby McKenna posted on Twitter that he had taken part in a design sprint under the Quiet Leaves codename, an early pre-production phase for the movie. The title itself strongly suggests the narrative focus, Ben Solo, redeemed at the end of Rise of Skywalker, survives somehow, and his whereabouts become the central mystery. Yeah, kind of sort of somewhat rehashing like The Force Awakens where we're all looking for Luke, but okay. It can still be made compelling. Whether Rey Skywalker or other established characters were involved remains unconfirmed. Well, there's no way Rey wasn't involved if they're looking for Ben Solo. Like, come on. Let's be sensible. Obviously, you're a journalist. You can't be like, oh yeah, she's in there. In an opinion piece, you could be like, I don't see any way she's not, because that would make no sense, especially with like the whole dyad thing and all that crapola. Some fans have speculated that Driver's recent comments were an attempt to pressure Disney into reviving the project, but sources close to both the actor and Soderbergh dispute this. Both filmmakers reportedly consider the project permanently shelved and are no longer bound by NDAs or any contractual restrictions, as the film is classified internally as dead, hence feeling free to discuss it publicly for the first time. Well, there's your answer. There's your answer as to the timing, C-Dub. They were on pretty firm ground that they weren't bound by the NDAs. That Josh was right that at least, they probably were, but turns out, at least in their minds, they're good to go. Yeah, that's your timing. They waited for it to be officially 100% shelved, which, at least in their mind, voided the NDAs. Separately, recent online reports that David Fincher pitched a new Star Wars film following the rise of Skywalker are inaccurate. As is already publicly but not widely known, Fincher met with Lucasfilm years earlier, before The Force Awakens, as many filmmakers did, to gauge interest, but that conversation didn't yield anything. Fincher has voiced his opinion about the challenges of making these films in the past. A source close to Fincher confirms that the filmmaker had a loose idea for a story set between episodes 8 and 9 of the Skywalker saga, The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, but it never progressed beyond the initial concept and failed to gain traction with Lucasfilm, resulting in no formal development. Reports that the final cut was a deal breaker are incorrect, as the idea never remotely progressed that far. Only a few phone calls were made between him and Kennedy. One source called it a non-story, and at the time of post-Rise of Skywalker, Fincher had moved on and was focused on his Netflix project, Mank the Killer, and an unproduced Chinatown prequel series written by Robert Towne. Disney's board is scheduled to meet in January to determine Iger's successor, with an announcement about Kennedy's eventual replacement at Lucasfilm expected soon after. Despite the fact that it's looking like it was much more Iger than her, I'll still be glad when she's gone, because she still did plenty of fuck-ups on her own, without Iger's help. For now... Oh, here we go. Sorry, I skipped a sentence. Whether new leadership could revive abandoned projects remains uncertain, though probably unlikely. I agree with that. For now, The Hunt for Ben Solo stands as a rare example of a fully realized Lucasfilm-approved Star Wars film that was stopped only after reaching Disney's highest executive offices. Look at me combining all four of these words in one shot. Lucasfilm did not respond to press inquiries for the story. Well, of course they didn't. Nobody gonna. Lucasfilm not gonna. The House of Mouse not gonna. It's a weird move for Adam Driver to make. If anything, Driver must have an issue specifically with Iger. Oh, I would imagine so. After he and Soderbergh's movie got loved by everyone at Lucasfilm that fucking counts, and they gotten to the point where all they needed was Iger to go whoop, and then into production that bitch went. This was the first movie that got that far with all the Lucasfilm love that Iger said no to. First time. Which means he said yes to the sequel trilogy. He said yes to Rogue One. He said yes to the Solo story. Said yes to all those. But he put the kibosh on this one. And he was really down for the sequels because he would not allow them to take the time necessary to actually do them right. The first movie ever ready to go into production with full support of everyone at Lucasfilm that did not get greenlit by the big boys. That's crazy, bro. That first report, made it seem like he shot down like a pitch, right? They weren't that specific. They're just like, we took this movie to them, Lucasfilm liked it, and then we took it to Bob, and Bob said nope. We had no idea at that point that this movie was that far along. Like, it was ready to fucking go. He never talks much about Star Wars and hasn't seemed like he's had any interest in future Star Wars stuff until right now. Well, no, not right now. The story's just coming out right now. Or are you talking about Adam Driver? Well, yeah, because it's officially shelved, so he hasn't bound legally by NDAs to keep his yapper shut anymore. That's why the timing. That's why right now, because he's finally safe to do it. Obviously, he's had this fucking bullet in the chamber for a long ass time. But there's a trigger guard called NDA that wouldn't let him pull it. Trigger guard came off. So yeah, I wouldn't say seemingly. I'd say definitely he was firing shots. 100%. I don't blame him. One fucking bit. Yep. So yeah, after that happened, I wouldn't imagine he'd have too much interest in doing more Star Wars after that or talking about it much. Because it would bring up hurt feelings. Yep. That makes total sense. He's been butthurt with Iger for years, and now things have reached the point where he can legally talk about it. No, because Bob Iger and Alan Greenberg directly said no. And he's pissed about it. So he fucking called out names. Said, these motherfuckers right here took this away from you. Snyder who? Jeff? I mean, he's got really good sources, but he doesn't always have all the fucking information. I just trust, for the most part, what information he does have. Well, I mean, who's above Kathleen at Disney other than Iger and Bergman? Nobody. You say Disney, it's one and the same as Iger and Bergman. If you think about it. Just Driver didn't, Driver decided not to give people a broad idea and just say Disney, even though Iger and Bergman kind of are Disney. They're the only two Kathy answers to at the House of Mouse. So yeah, if Disney says no to a Marvel or Star Wars project, it's Iger and or Bergman. They're the same in terms of rank and who studio heads answer to. Zack Snyder. Oh, talking about his Rebel Moon thing? Did he say Disney or did he say Lucasfilm? Let's check. Okay, so we have an article here from Screen Rant about this exact subject. Zack Snyder reveals his original pitch to Lucasfilm for a new Star Wars movie, explaining why the project ultimately didn't get far. Best known for superhero fare like Watchmen, dope. Man of Steel, dope. And Zack Snyder's Justice League, dope. Snyder's upcoming Netflix movie Rebel Moon, a story about a scrappy rebellion fighting back against a tyrannical dictator, will seemingly be his biggest undertaking yet, and it didn't turn out that well. If excuse me, if the project shares some things in common with George Lucas' Galaxies Far, Far Away, it's because originally Rebel Moon started out as a Star Wars pitch. Zack Snyder. The quote from him. It was Seven Samurai in space, which Star Wars kind of already is. And a Star Wars movie was my original concept for it. I knew that the origins were for George were a lot of those Kurosawa films. I was a big Kurosawa fan, so it made sense as a concept. Really simple story, kind of clean, good versus evil. The sale of Lucasfilm to Disney had just happened. There was that window where who knows what's possible. I was like, I don't want any of your characters. I don't want to do anything with any known characters. I just want to do my own thing on the side. And originally I was like, it should be rated R. That was almost a non-starter. There's no almost about that. R-rated in Star Wars is a non-starter. I knew it was a big ask, to be honest. But the deeper I got into it, I realized it was probably never going to be what I want. There's a vibe of, we have our own ideas about what we want to do with the Star Wars universe. Do you have an idea about a Star Wars movie? Go do that as a fan film. Yada. Yada. Okay. So the rest of this is just about Rome. So yeah, he never got any farther than Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm said no. It didn't even get a chance to get to Disney. Oh, there we go. Excuse me one moment. Whatever reason, the damn game jumped off. Crap, Michigan just. Oh yeah, that's definitely a fucking fumble. That's anywho. Anyhoodles. That's fucking crazy. That movie got that far. Loved by Lucasfilm. Scripts done. Some pre-production done. Pretty much ready to shoot. Just needed approval and someone to write a fucking check. And the check signer said, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. We got people fucking renting planes with banners, paying fucking no less than 10 G's probably for a fucking billboard about this movie in Times motherfucking Square. It's borderline insane, really. Like, the fandom obviously, while not united by any stretch, this is the most united the fandom's been in years. They are not happy about this shit. I don't blame them. That's like some bullshit. And on paper, that movie seems pretty dope. I like the concept. Yet, there's no way it wouldn't have had Ray in it. Let's be real. It wouldn't have been perfect. I mean, Ray was going to be in there. They're a fucking dyad. Like, if anyone can track down a resurrected Ben Solo, it would be her, since, the reason she's alive is he gave her his fucking life force and shit. So on top of the dyad, they now have that connection. Ooh, just over 5 minutes. Oh, blue. Okay. Anyway, but yeah. So Ray would have been in it. 100%. Now, the question is what else would they have done with that movie? Obviously, they'd be hunting for Ben. That's the title. There'd be Ray. Would they have brought back Boyega? Well, assuming he would do it, would they have brought back Boyega for this? If Finn started popping up some force powers, he could be handy to have around. Maybe even bring fucking Oscar Isaac back. Sooner or later you're gonna need a pilot to shoot other shit. You know what I mean? Could have been pretty fucking cool. It also could have been ass. Could just as easily have been ass. Rip it. Damn. He hung onto it. Okay. But yeah. So, obviously we'll never know if it would have been good or shit-tastic. But the point is the concept was cool. They were ready to fucking roll. And then Iger's like, nah. I don't think so. And then that was that. One of these days I'll remember to record some of this shit so I can start putting out clips. Fuck. Oh, we have the ball back. Fuck yeah. Any thoughts, chat? Thing clogged again. There we go. Delta Dan. If you're paying attention, you're I'm about ready. Take another shot. if you're in the middle of a game, take one death and let me know that you're in the middle of a game, and I will be kind enough to wait. I'll give you a short amount of time. Damn, that dude runs hard. Pause. I mean, if they can't stop the run, fucking pound it down their throat. Pause. It's so easy to you guys ever listen to or seen people put together clips of what sports announcers say and, sports like dirty sports or, sports sounds dirty or whatever. It does seem dope for sure, says Z-Dub. It's just so Iger said yes to having Kenobi leaving Luke unguarded. Yep. In order to help find a sister who has an entire planet's resources at their disposal. That's correct. Well, he didn't say yes to that specifically, but he did say, fuck the movie, make it a show. And after that, he probably didn't give a shit. Ben Solo being alive still is a deal breaker. Yep. I mean, literally the only way it makes sense is if Josh is right, or Josh's source is right, and Iger really disliked Lucas and wanted nothing to do with his stuff. Oh no, I'm not letting KK off the hook either. She's made plenty of dumbass decisions on her own that have nothing to do with Iger. But it does seem that a pretty significant chunk of the shit we hate her for is actually Iger. Not all of it. Not all of it. But way fucking more than we thought. That's the only way any of this makes sense. And then Kathy greenlit the Acolyte, even though she was the. Here's a good example: the Acolyte. She's the only one in the room that loved Leslie Headland's proposal and said, "Cool." Completely ignoring every other person in the room who was like, "This is some bullshit." So yeah, that's Kathy, all on her own. Um, Part of pushing sequel characters over legacy characters, some of that's Bob, or that part of it's Bob. The movie's kind of being rushed out, that's Bob. But not even finding a way to write Ray better, to write Finn better. Even if you're a little rushed, that's on Kathy. The PR debacle that began with the sequel trilogies, with going after fans and all that shit, that's on Kathy. And that's a biggie right there. That's a biggie right there. The fucking Solo movie, firing Lord and Miller because of their socks and then bringing in Ron Howard to attempt to salvage that shit, that's all her. She's still dangling from the hook, but there's just a lot of Bob Iger on that hook too. Like, it's got her through the hand now instead of through the torso, and it's like right up Bob Iger's butt. But she's still dangling on there right behind him, like. She's still on that hook. 100%. Oh, shit. Oh, hell yeah. We just nailed another touchdown run. Ooh, baby. I missed the replay and the regular play. Damn it. Replay it again, motherfucker. You're not going to replay it again, are you, you bitch? All right. 31-13, 2:48 left in the fourth. We win. Hail to the motherfucking victors, bitch! Hey, Rob, tell Mur I said, hail. Rob's wife is a State fan. Give her that fucking Ryan Reynolds meme shit-eating grin for me, that. You know, that gif. Give her that face for me. And say hail to the victors. Do that shit. Say Aaron loves you and then do that shit. The head of Lucasfilm and an A-list actor, plus a proven top-level director, are attached. All are good to go. But Iger, a guy who made a deal with Sony to make Far From Home because Holland drunkenly begged him over a phone call. Yeah. And again, the only reason that makes sense is Iger hates Lucas and all his shit. Now, granted, the hunt for Ben Solo was... That probably had less to do with Lucas and see. Why would he have done that shit? I think you can do that. Oh, did do the Ryan Reynolds though? Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. One, don't know how likely, but one possible reason Iger killed that shit for what appears to be such a lame reason as I don't see how he's alive. Could be that he was at least somewhat aware of the response to the sequel trilogy from a lot of the fandom. And he was like, you don't think Iger hates Sony more than Lucas? Well, I'd say the evidence says no, he doesn't. He worked with them, sometimes reluctantly, but he does it. So I'd have to say no. Delta Dan is not paying fucking attention. Delta Dan! He shared profits with Sony. He doesn't have to with Lucas. I know. It just goes to prove he hates George and his shit more than he hates Sony. Oh, my camera, you motherfucker. I must have kicked something again. Are we on? Are we good? All right, cool. There we go. Cool. I mean, think about it. What does it take to get to the level Iger got to? Cold-heartedness, aggression, narcissism, ego, ruthlessness. Owning Lucasfilm made it a hell of a lot easier to wallow in all of that shit than it does when he deals with Sony. So it might not even be that he hates Sony less or more than Lucas. It's just harder to fuck with Sony, especially if they have something you want. So, yeah, what it boils down to is the worst parts of Iger he let run rampant in all over Lucasfilm. So really, when you come down to it, you can't really 100% make sense of it because he was engaging in some nonsensical emotion and shit. You know, he wasn't thinking like a business executive at that time. He was thinking as a dude with the power to do pretty much what he wants, at least within Disney, and then letting his pettiness take over. That's all I got, man. Narcissism, ego, ruthlessness, pettiness, obviously. And, yeah. Too much power and too willing to use it in the wrong fucking ways. Yep. Alrighty. Any more thoughts on that one before we get into this next subject? Oh, plenty of people are asking to see the script. Like, I've seen petitions. I knew there was something I was forgetting to mention about their reaction to that. Yeah, we've got planes being rented and flown over Disney Studios. We have billboards being rented in Times Square. And there are now petitions, too. Well, no, he doesn't get to that level because of not liking George Lucas. But he gets to enact his not liking George Lucas because he's at the level he's at. It's the other way around. He was in a position to make his dislike of George Lucas a tangible thing. Hell yeah. Doesn't matter that we were going to win. Yeah, no, people are like going crazy over this shit. Now, let's also be real about something. We are in the attention economy, and this shit's managed to have gone for 5 days now. That affects stock price at that level. Killing one movie ain't going to do shit for the stock price. Not even if there's a hullabaloo about it. The board and shareholders are not going to give a fuck about a killed Hunter Ben Solo movie. Like, that's not going to affect anything, really. It may have affected it positively if the movie did well, but not that much. But I'll tell you one thing, the stock price is not going to go down because he killed a movie. It may have gone down if they made the movie and it was ass. So he decided to not gamble and also be a petty motherfucker. Two birds with one stone, as it were. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. 31 to 13, 36 seconds left. I don't even care if they fucking trick play and get one more. Still about that. 20 seconds. Good victory. Why the hell would you spike? You're not. You just trying for that fucking garbage time touchdown or what? You have no shot. You have 13 seconds to score a garbage time touchdown and a 2-point, which would put you down by 10. Get an onside kick. Score instantly. Get another onside kick and then score again. Well, yeah, it feels off because of Iger being a petty motherfucker. Like you're trying to explain or you're trying to reason with unreasonable actions. Well, the movie only matters if it goes to the theater and then how much and then the results of that trip to the theater. The movie not getting made does not matter. That movie can only make a difference in the stock price after we get theater results, box office. That determines how much the movie matters. A movie that doesn't get made, I mean, that's still not what, that's like close, but it's still not what Daddy Zaz did to that Batgirl movie. That was like done. Done. In the can, ready to go. And he said, nope. And then did some legal tax thingy that the result of which is that movie can never, ever, ever see the light of day. Otherwise, he'll owe money back to the government. Chainsaw Man movie was really fun. Sweet! Oh, they got the garbage time touchdown. And they still have 7 seconds left. Wow. Still got to lose. You booger looking bitches. That's right. Josh tweeted about it being really good too and saying Hollywood needs to step up its game. Yeah, they do need, well, they can't step up their game until they at least catch up to it. That's step one. They have to catch up to the game, and then they can worry about fucking really kicking it in gear. I have no idea who that is. I don't know Chainsaw Man. I don't know anime. I've heard of some. I've heard what people say about them. But yeah, I don't know characters. Like, I know the name Goku, but if you showed me like 4 Dragon Ball characters, I probably would have a 50% chance of picking the right one. And that's just for Goku. He's probably the only one I'd recognize. Bomb Devil from the movie. I still don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. I am anime ignorant. You know what, Delta Dan? I'm about tired of waiting for your ass. There are 3 different... there's like different devils. The characters need to fight. I think the main villain they're fighting in the series is the Gun Devil. I'm good on that, Spicy Dan. Devils basically representing certain aspects of life. Oh, okay. That's actually kind of interesting. Yeah, no, I don't need to see your Dragon Balls there, Spicy Dan. I'm good. Show them to your wife. And it's over. 31-20. I would look up the victory song and play it, but I'd probably get fucking copy struck. But I'm going to turn off the TV now. All right. You guys ready to move on to some Doomsday stuff? Ready to move on to some Doomsday stuff? Here we go. Now, there's a couple aspects to this that we're going to be talking about. So, the First, we're just going to go over the information. Then we'll consider the information, and then we'll consider the source. Then we'll consider the information. And we'll see what the fuck we end up with at the end. But here we fucking go. Ruma, Avengers Doomsday trailer is ready. Does not include Disney Plus Marvel heroes. Nerd-erotic reports. We're going to ignore the source for a minute. We're just going to go over the report. Fans have been eager and skeptical about any real news surrounding Avengers Doomsday. Between conflicting leaks, chaotic rewrites, and a revolving door of rumored cameos, most are asking two questions. When will we finally see an Avengers Doomsday trailer, and who is, and more importantly isn't, actually in this movie? Now, YouTuber Gary Beckler, I'm going to go with Beckler, it could be Beekler. I've seen B-U-E or U-E pronounced that way before, but I'm going to go with Beekler because it sounds more stupid. Now, YouTuber Gary Beekler, known to millions as Nerd-erotic, has dropped new information that may answer both. Beekler revealed that the Avengers Doomsday trailer is complete, detailed what it focuses on, and confirmed several major omissions, including Captain Marvel, She-Hulk, Ironheart, and every character introduced through Disney+. The Doomsday trailer is done, Nerd-erotic said. It's long. It will focus on Doom, showing how he's a bigger threat than Thanos. I was told it could be attached to Avatar. That's been out there for a hot minute. No Captain Marvel, no She-Hulk, no Ironheart. I was also told no one who hasn't appeared in an MCU film will be in Doomsday. In other words, Marvel TV and Disney Plus show characters will not be in it. Well, Ms. Marvel will because she was in an MCU film. According to Beekler, the trailer for Avengers Doomsday is finished and reportedly focuses on Doctor Doom, the franchise's new central villain, with Marvel trying to frame him as a threat even greater than Thanos. That kind of positioning sounds impressive on paper, but given the studio's recent track record, the Marvel's Secret Invasion, Quantumania, and Eternals. Eternals? The fuck? That ain't recent. And you also skipped which came way after that. Well, the movie that came after that one and that one, I don't remember. Actually, I think it came out after Secret Invasion as well. Deadpool and Wolverine made $1.3 billion, but, let's ignore that. Fans have plenty of reason to doubt Marvel can deliver a villain on that scale again. Well, they weren't fucking trying to deliver a villain on that scale in those movies yet. Anyway, rumor has it that the trailer could premiere alongside Avatar Fire and Ash, which makes sense given Disney's tendency to cross-promote its major IPs. Still, if Marvel is trying to recapture Infinity War level hype through another marketing spectacle, it might be missing the real issue: audience trust. Nerd-erotic's comments reveal what could be a massive internal shift or a quiet purge. If accurate, Avengers Doomsday won't just exclude Captain Marvel and She-Hulk, but also Ironheart and every hero introduced on Disney+. That means no Kate Bishop, no Moon Knight, no Echo, and even no Daredevil. Ms. Marvel, however, would be fair game as she has appeared in the Marvels. Okay, there you go. Of course, Ironheart has also appeared on screen in Marvel's Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, but Nerd-erotic was very specific that that Ironheart would not appear in this film. These omissions suggest Marvel is abandoning years of interconnected storytelling, walking back its Disney Plus experiment entirely. After repeatedly insisting the streaming shows were vital to understand the MCU, the studio now seems ready to toss that continuity out the window, likely because almost nobody watched it. Well, that's not true. Ironheart charted repeatedly. If true, it's less a course correction and more an admission of failure. The so-called New Avengers era that Marvel pushed through Disney Plus has collapsed under its own weight. For many fans, the damage is already done. This isn't the first time Beekler has broken major Doomsday news. Earlier this week, he posted on X that neither She-Hulk nor Captain Marvel would appear in the film. Well, no shit, Sherlock. And you're posting them that they're only 15 hours old. What the hell? At the time, the revelation that Marvel was cutting two of its most heavily promoted female leads was shocking to some. Now, it appears that purge goes even deeper. Between recent rewrites, an unfinished script, and Kevin Feige's plussing comments about constant adjustments on set, the picture forming around Doomsday is one of chaos control, the studio trying to contain its own mistakes before they tank another billion-dollar brand. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. I'll shred this fucking part later. On the surface, cutting unpopular characters might look like Marvel finally listening to its audience. But in context, this move reeks more of panic than strategy. The MCU's foundation is cracking, and Avengers Doomsday is being built right on top of it. This isn't a confident reboot of the franchise, it's damage control. After years of scolding the fans, rewriting canon, and replacing legacy heroes with untested stand-ins, Marvel seems to be realizing that nostalgia alone can't save them. If Nerd Erotic's reporting holds true, Marvel isn't reinventing itself, it's retreating, hoping audiences will forget the past 5 years of creative misfire. Whether fans forgive or not remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, Avengers Doomsday isn't looking like a comeback, it's looking like survival. Okay. Well, chat. Before we consider... Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and consider the veracity of this report first. And then we'll ignore the veracity and just talk about it. Well, let's talk about the source of this report first and how much we believe it. And then we'll do what we normally do and dig at it a little bit and play with it if it's true and see what we think about it. So, what's up, Brennan? How you doing, man? All right, so first of all, let us consider the source. Nerd Erotic. What do we know about Nerd Erotic? We know Nerd Erotic is an anti-woke rage bait grifter. He is the type of person that Darth Melvin looks up to. And I actually believe Nerd Erotic is a fan of Darth Melvin. So, there's that. And then you combine that with this rumor that he put out. And said rumor sounds like an anti-woke rage bait grifter's wet dream. Just happens to be that. Kind of makes me really fucking skeptical. Like, I don't really believe it too much. At all. However, there are bits of it that actually could make sense. Would it make sense, or in what way, I should say, would it make sense to actually do what he is intimating they're doing? Which is basically taking all the Disney Plus characters and fucking ignoring them. In Doomsday. Randon! Or is it pronounced Randon? Y'all remember that commercial? I can't remember what company that was for. But, well, actually, the dude was Brandon. He's like, it's pronounced Brandon. If they show up, I think they would show up more in Secret Wars either way. See, that's the exact point I was about to make. It actually kind of does make sense not to litter Doomsday with Disney Plus characters, or at least not a lot of them. You know, Secret Wars is more, you know, the spot for having all these motherfucking variants pop up left, right, and center. Right? Or, you know, less important characters pop up. That's the place to put them, if you think about it. So that kind of makes sense in terms of Doomsday. And he specifically said Doomsday. None of this information is about Secret Wars. Not one bit. So that kind of makes sense. However, on the flip side, Feige's kind of fucking stubborn. Now, they have realized some of their mistakes, like making TV shows in the form of just like long extended movies with breaks instead of like hiring actual TV people to do TV shows, which they have now done. They've realized that shit's been oversaturated, and currently it is still oversaturated because They're just dumping everything they worked on. That's done. And I still think it was stupid as fuck to push Wonder Man into the beginning of next year, because next year was clean. Next year was going to be completely Phase 4 and 5 free. It was gonna. But then they had to push Wonder Man for some... I still don't understand why the fuck they pushed Wonder Man. And ruined the beginning of the year. Had to put that fucking stink on 2026. Now, here's the thing, though. Captain Marvel not being in it is kind of somewhat believable, considering the history of Brie Larson. That's potentially a thing. She-Hulk, I mean, that show was ass. No one gives a fuck about that character. That is possible. Ironheart. That show charted. And we have actually seen set photos of something that looked like it had fucking Wakanda technology in it. So I mean, we already knew Shuri's going to be in there, but Ironheart's tight with Shuri. Her show charted a couple, 3, maybe even 4 weeks. So I actually think she has a really, really good... I feel like you're probably wrong on Ironheart specifically. Honestly, I think Brie's going to come back. She-Hulk's really the only one believable out of this. I can totally see them leaving her out of Doomsday. Captain Marvel, they need her power. I mean, they're gonna be fighting fucking whoever Doom's band of merry baddies is, whatever variants those end up being, and like Doom himself. They're gonna need the insane power of Captain Marvel. So I don't know about that one either. At least from a story standpoint, that makes absolutely no sense at all. Like, she's one of the few ones that are left from Phase 3. And she's also, I believe, currently in MCU, I think she's the most powerful. So yeah, her not being in there doesn't make a whole lot of sense unless Brie's just like, fuck y'all, and doesn't want to do it. That's the only way that makes sense. Oh no. Okay. So yeah, Captain Marvel not being in it only makes sense one way, and that's if Brie just flat out refuses. She-Hulk makes sense. Ironheart doesn't make a lot of sense. Her show actually did well. And she was also in a movie. Now, no Captain Marvel, no She-Hulk, no Ironheart in the trailer. No She-Hulk and no Ironheart makes sense in the trailer. Even Captain Marvel, she's not necessary in the trailer. Now, no Disney Plus show characters at all, unless they've been in a movie. So, Kamala Khan will probably be in Doomsday, 100%. She has the fucking bangles, right? She has the bangles. Wanda's going to be in it. Of course, she was already in movies, so never mind. Hawkeye actually probably, he might not, but he's been in movies. Kate Bishop has not. But I don't know. She's iffy for Doomsday, although a lot of other scoopers are reporting. Actually, you know what? That might be more for Secret Wars now. I can see her not being in it, but I also can see her being in it. Like that one's kind of 50-50. Who else is there? Kamala Khan, she's going to be in it for sure. Moon Knight, makes sense not to have him around till Secret Wars. Wonder Man, I hope not. But there's been rumors out there that like his power set will actually be important. Well, might be closer. Might be for Secret Wars though, not Doomsday. I know I'm forgetting some. Agatha, Yeah, probably not. Wiccan. We thought they were going to be setting up Children's Crusade as one of the storylines, but that seems very less likely now. So him, maybe not. Although Vision will be in it, and Wanda will be in it. Maybe they'll backdoor the boys in there. Maybe we'll get Wiccan and Tommy because we're getting Tommy in Vision Quest. Like that's happening. So I don't know. There's a story reason to bring those two into Doomsday. Um, they may not. All right, chat. What am I forgetting? Disney Plus series wise, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Well, they've been in the movies, so they're good. Echo, she's not necessary. That wouldn't surprise me if she's not in Doomsday at all. Daredevil. I mean, there's no real reason for him to be in Doomsday, honestly. I mean, if the movie leaks are right, there is going to be a big ass battle in New York, so it would make sense to have him there. But it also wouldn't be like it wouldn't make no sense for him also to not be there. You know what I mean? Who else is there? Wanda, yeah, Falcon Winter Soldier, yeah. Hawkeye, don't know about either of them, honestly. Moon Knight, makes sense for him not to be. Ms. Marvel, she will be. Bangles are important. Echo, yeah, probably not. Some of it makes sense, but not all of it. I guess it's kind of where we got to go on that. As for the trailer itself, I hope he's right. That it focuses pretty much on Doctor Doom and him doing doomy type shit that sets him up to look like a badass. Okay. Okay, so all right. Okay, here's one of the things. This sentence right here. Between recent rewrites, an unfinished script, and Kevin Feige's plussing comments about constant adjustment on set, the picture forming on Doomsday is one of chaos control. The studio trying to contain its own mistakes before they tank another $1 billion. Chat, what do we know about how Marvel makes movies? What do we know about how Marvel has made movies since fucking Iron Man? Y'all remember when, like, a few months ago, when people, like, this past spring, when people were like, the Doomsday script isn't finished, holy shit, and started just, like, freaking out and grabbing their junk and losing their minds? It's the same story, the same thing applies here. This is how Marvel makes movies. The script is never finished, at least not beyond a draft or maybe two. Yes, they constantly do plussing. They've done it every fucking movie. Constant adjustments on set. Unfinished script. Lots and lots of rewrites. They were literally writing the Iron Man script while they were making the movie. Like, this is exactly how Marvel operates. So to try and frame how Marvel has operated since 2008. So for I don't know, what's that? 17 fucking years to try and frame what Marvel has been doing for 17 fucking years as like chaos control and like something out of the ordinary for Marvel is like bad faith, disingenuous, call it anything you want. It's just stupid, is what it boils down to. It's just fucking stupid. Trying to make that point is ignorant, especially for people who claim to be plugged in, claim to have sources. I have none of that. I'm just a 50-year-old dude on the internet, on YouTube, on the little dinky ass channel, yapping about this kind of stuff. But even I know that's how Marvel does shit. So if I fucking know that, they should fucking know that. That little paragraph in that article should not even be in there. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. A very Doom heavy trailer, which won't have Disney Plus characters in it. This is not the first time we've heard it'll probably be attached to Fire and Ash. Now, the fact that it's long, I find very interesting. I do believe that they have a trailer ready, or at least mostly ready. It's Marvel, so they'll be tweaking it right up until they attach it to whatever movie they're going to attach it to, because that's how Marvel operates. So, yeah, I would not be surprised if we got a trailer this December, or at least a teaser of some sort. I don't know that it's going to be long. A long ass trailer a year before the movie comes out doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, like probably 70 to 90-second teaser would be good. Make it good enough to whet the appetite, put some cool shit in it. It's got to have some sort of ooh and ah factor, but it does not have to be long. But it could be. So, I'm going to put it this way. Some of it actually does make a little bit of sense. Some of it. But taken as a whole, and considering the source, and considering that like everything this source is talking about would be exactly what the source wants to happen. I don't know. I just don't know. So I'm calling this mostly bullshit, but there are some aspects of it that make sense. But what it boils down to is again, as I stated at the beginning of this portion of the stream, this is an anti-woke rage bait grifter who is releasing a rumor that's tailor-made to give rage bait anti-woke grifters wet dreams. It's a bit suspect. Now, if, I don't know, say even My Time or RPK came out with this, I would still be somewhat skeptical, but a lot less skeptical because, well, if anything, if you pay attention to Daniel and his posts, they're slanted completely the opposite way. Like, he's very pro what Phase 4 and 5 were. So I would actually believe this a hell of a lot more if RPK came out with it, because this would freak him out. He would probably frame it as like, what the fuck? But yeah, something like this coming from somebody to whom it's apparently tailor-made. Yeah. Some people would say too good to be true. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it's too good to be true. No, the leaks that the actual movie leaks that Josh talked about a week or two ago, those sound too good to be true. This right here sounds too convenient to be true. And I'm tired of waiting for your ass, Delta Dan, to my granddaughter. Yummy. Oh, whiskey hits like a lot of parts of me really well, but certain parts of my taste buds, it's like, ah. But I ignore them in favor of everything else because whiskey is awesome. New Avatar Fire and Ash look good, but I'm hoping when I see it, they show the Doomsday trailer in the previews. Yeah, it's funny when that rumor first came out that something Doomsday teaser or trailer was going to be attached to Fire and Ash. I can't tell you how many times I saw someone being like, "I don't give a fuck about Avatar, but I'm gonna buy a movie ticket just to go see that damn trailer." Now, granted, all the people I saw that said that are big old fucking nerds. That's not a general audience thing. Those are the people that really need to be won back because no general audience means no $1 billion. You need the normies to make the big bucks. That's just a fucking fact. Don't believe me? Look at what Marvel's movies did this year. The general audiences did not show up, and only one of them made over $500 million. Thunderbolts didn't even make 400. No general audience, no dough. It's just that simple. Well, he has plans to, Brooke. Whether those plans actually come to fruition, even he, within in the not too distant past, in a quote, kind of cast doubt on Avatars 4 and 5 happening. Yeah, if it's a good enough trailer, it'll activate some of the general audience. It'll get some tongues wagging, some people talking. It is possible. Very possible. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna disagree with that, Brooke. They need to not do that. They've tried that. They tried that with what movie did they try that? They tried that in the marketing of Brave New World, and it did not fucking help at all. Like they tried that and that already failed. That if anything, the way fucking Dick Roddick there describes it would be much better. Very Doom focused would be good. Especially since you've had literally 2 seconds of Doom so far. A very Doom focused trailer will get Doom close to the amount of screen time Thanos had before Infinity War. So if they can, they can get it up to there and actually show Doom doing a couple of very doomy things, making him look super fucking badass. That's what they need to do. Yep. My opinion, anyway. What do you guys think? Do you believe it? Do you not believe it? If you don't believe it, is it because of the source? Or just doesn't sound realistic? What do you guys think? Exactly, Brooke. Exactly. That's it right there. Precisement. Yeah, Fire and Ash is probably gonna make a shit ton of money, which means if the Doomsday trailer is attached to it, it'll get seen by a shit ton of people. Yeah, that is a good move. But in terms of like when movies come out, it almost seems like a better move to have the Spider-Man trailer attached because that comes out in July, and Doomsday doesn't come out till next December. But on the other hand, Spider-Man is also the most popular comic book character on the fucking globe. It doesn't need as much help as Doomsday does. So that is also something to be considered when we talk about the timing of trailers. Of course, Doomsday filmed first. I believe Spider-Man's still filming. You know what? Now that we're talking about Spider-Man, um, just a quick little tidbit that's kind of fun. Not a lot to it. Excuse me. But here's a quick little tidbit. Y'all remember, I think it was like either early this week or late last week, those photos came out of Mark Ruffalo looking all fucked up and being carried around in a stretcher. And I believe put in a black van. Well, the other day, earlier this week, photos and video emerged of Sadie Sink on set, also being carried on a stretcher and put in the back of an unmarked black van. Did you miss the Doomsday talk? Yes, you did. That's okay. That's what the replay is for. Because chilling needs watch hours. But yeah, so we have Mark Ruffalo, Bruce Banner, being all injured on a stretcher and put into a black van. And then we have Sadie Sink's character, whoever the fuck she is, also on a stretcher, being placed in the back of a black unmarked van. Why is that interesting? Well, I'll tell you. Obviously, they're injured and on stretchers, but also, obviously, they're not being put into a fucking ambulance. Ambulances are not unmarked black vans with no sirens or lights or any of that shit. Right? So, what do we think the owner, or should I say, who do we think that black unmarked van belongs to? That would be carting off the man that turns into the Incredible Hulk and Sadie Sink, whoever the fuck she's playing. Who do we think that could be? Chat. Who could it be? Who are you? Who? Who's in that van? Who does that van belong to? Anybody at all? Bueller? How about Department of Damage Control? Now, why? I mean, it makes a lot of sense that the Department of Damage Control would be interested in removing an injured Bruce Banner who can turn into the Incredible Hulk from a scene and go do something probably nefarious with him. But why would they be interested in Sadie Sink's character? Well, you remember there's been rumors for a while now that obviously there's been a lot of rumors about who the character is. But what does the fact that it's probably the Department of Damage Control tell you? It tells you that no matter who the character is, it goes back to the one basic rumor that whoever Sadie Sink is playing, that character is going to have powers. That is why the Department of Damage Control would be hauling her away along with Bruce, rather than just taking Bruce and letting her go to a regular-ass hospital for regular-ass people. Department of Damage Control wants her. She cannot be regular-ass people. They would not bother with her if she were regular-ass people. So she has to be powered in some fashion or another. Now, who the fuck she's playing, we still don't know. That Shathra character is just the most recent rumor / speculation / deduction. I mean, as far as I know, Jeff Snyder still hasn't recanted on her being Jean Grey. You know? She's probably not an actual Mary Jane Parker. Not if she's powered. Now she could be a Gwen Stacy variant. That's still on the table. Her being Gwen Stacy is still on the table. Harloff is still sticking to that strong, last I knew. I don't know. But whoever she is, I feel like her being hauled away in that unmarked black van does confirm that her character does have powers. So, not a lot, just her being on a stretcher being put into a van. But I feel like that is confirmation, sort of, pseudo confirmation that her character does indeed have powers. Because otherwise it'd be ambulance time. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about that? I just want some fireball for fun. Prost. You like the Shathra one, Brooke? It's interesting. I mean, the character does tie into Spider-Man. But honestly, the way that character ties into Spider-Man being like a big deal in the life or the web of life and destiny and like trying to kill and consume spider totems, which basically means spider people throughout the multiverse. God damn it, fucker. She seems more like a character for the Spider-Verse animated features than she does this movie. I mean, I'm not saying she's not Shathra. I mean, obviously a multiversal creature that wants to kill spider totems, and it makes sense for a creature that wants to kill spider totems to be in a Spider-Man movie, right? Total sense. But and obviously Marvel Studios never does a one-to-one comic thing, so it's not like they have to tie her in fully to the web of life and destiny and all the shit she does in the comics. They can go all the way down to the basics and just be like, this chick likes to kill spider people. The end. They don't have to go balls deep on her background or her motivations. I mean, they got to do something, otherwise she'll just be another hollow villain, and we won't give two fucks, right? She's got to have some substance, but she doesn't have to have like a shit ton. You know what I mean? She doesn't have to have the large multiversal background that she does in the comics for this movie. You know what I mean? They don't have to tie it in like all the way in. I still think the Shatner character is a better fit for the Spider-Verse movies, but wouldn't be too hard to make her fit into this. But again, that's just the latest in a long-ass fucking list of potential Sadie Sink characters. We still don't know. Like, this is all just speculation and rumor still with the Shatner thing. It's just the next one on the fucking list. Hopefully, maybe next spring, we'll actually get solid information on who she's playing. Because the movie comes out at the end of July. So, if we're going to finally find out who the fuck she is, it'll probably be spring. Total guess, but I'm starting to get a feel for these things. Be able to pseudo predict these things. So I'm saying we'll find out. I'll say late spring would be about when we'll find out who she is in, like, at least in a somewhat definitive manner. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's just a fun little thing. Like I said, not a lot to it. But, deduction says this is confirmation that she's a powered individual. Yeah. Yeah. You guys got any thoughts on that? Because that's the last of what I got. Again, there's just a couple things that were like really super cool to talk about. Plus, I got to be up fucking early. So I didn't want to like dive into too much shit tonight. But I still wanted to hang out. So there we are. Here it is. What do you guys got? Anything? Anything you want to talk about? Anything we talked about earlier tonight? Anything I didn't talk about that you want to talk about? It is your time now, chat. And it's also time for people that haven't done so to hit the fucking like button. And if you haven't done, and also for those of you who have not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe and the bell. And also join the Discord. Someone will throw it in there. I'm sure, because my community is awesome like that. So when that link hits the chat, click on that too, because Discord notifications are much more reliable than YouTube notifications. I'm sure we've all had it happen, where we know a stream's coming, and then we finally get the notification, and that bitch has been going for a hot minute already. Like, that happens a lot with YouTube. Discord notifications are much more reliable. You get it when I make it. And I've only forgotten to notify you guys about streams, I think maybe twice ever. Spicy Dan with the dub on that link. Click the link. Click all the buttons underneath my picture. Yeah, the like button should be about there. Subscribe button should be about there, and then the bell should be kind of over here. And it takes about that long to click them. Click, click, click. Super easy. Almost no effort. Do it. Do it. Do it. Yeah, that's all the variations I want for that little phrase, I guess, for now. What to say, chat? Got anything else? I am open to discuss whatever nerdy stuff you may have in your brains. But if you have nothing, I am going to go ahead and get on out of here so I can go get some sleep. So when mom and dad and baby come home, shit's ready to go. Yeah. No? All right. That's cool, man. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I hope you had fun. I did. I appreciate everyone that hung out. Thank you for being here. Time is a precious, precious thing. We all know this. Those of you who are younger will really get the sense of that when you get older. Trust me. So it is super fucking dope, awesome, cool, and actually wild that you guys choose to spend said precious time hanging out here in the basement and listening to me yap about this shit. It's fucking amazing, and I really appreciate you guys for being here. Especially all you regulars, man. That is so dope. You guys are the bestest. So, no more watch parties. We're down to just Wednesdays and Saturdays again, y'all. So, next Wednesday, 9 p.m., we will talk about whatever the fuck pops off Monday and Tuesday. Or even tomorrow, if something pops off tomorrow. And then we'll be back again next Saturday at 10. Talk about what pops off between Wednesday and Saturday, if anything. And if not, then I will have to really try really hard to be creative about something. Actually, what was Delta Dan's idea from before? Oh, yeah. We can do a tier list of all the Disney Plus shows. That'll be fun. Keep that in the back of my mind. Man, hell, there's 30 some odd movies that we could rank too. We wanted to rank the movies. I don't know. I will attempt to ideate as well, especially because we are in the slow times, chat. Streams are not going to be 3 and 4 hours right now because there's just not that much news. So I'll figure a couple things out here and there sooner or later somehow. It's the only problem with like me being a YouTube channel host is I'm not super creative. It's like my biggest weakness. But yeah, thank y'all for being here. I really appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, chat. Another good stream, and that's because of you guys. Never forget it. Dopest community on the planet. Not the biggest, but definitely the dopest. As they say. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate you. I can never say it enough. You may get sick of how much I repeat it, but it's true every fucking time. Y'all are the best. And I'm very grateful to have you guys. So hope you have a good rest of your weekend. And I hope to see you back here next Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Talk about whatever nerdy shit be popping up between now and then. So thank you very much. Love y'all. Have a good weekend. Peace.